Hello everyone. Today what I would like to show you, I want to demonstrate how to make lap books. So what are lap books? When I was homeschooling, I used these as kind of like projects. And the way that they work is that I will take a subject and I will have my students create, or my children create a lap book. The idea is with the aid of the lap book, it acts as a visual aid so that in the future, they can use it to make their presentations and they can use it to help remind them what they learned. Okay, they can also use it as form of a work sample to show teachers and other people that are interested in what they're learning. So you can use this for any subject, but today I'm gonna make it simple and I'm gonna use it on the scientific method. Okay, so let's say that you are learning the scientific method, and so what you're gonna need is a folder and just a regular old manila folder. um, and I'm gonna actually make two of them. I'm gonna have two different videos, but the first one, I have gone online and I have printed out a sheet where it was like a chart for the scientific method and it has steps. So what I'm going to use is I'm going to use this folder and I'm going to cut it into 6. And I'm going to fold it here so that I can tape it. And I actually ran out of glue. I don't know why. I have no more young children. And so I'm going to improvise here. Okay. So I ran out of tape, but let me go ahead and put it together for you. So hang on. Okay, I actually found some glue. So even though I don't have young children anymore. So I'm gonna take a title. Oh my gosh, it's dry. Hang on. Technical difficulties. Okay, I found some tape. So anyway, what I did was I folded, so I printed it out, right? I folded a corner, an edge of it, and there's two little lines to expand the folder, so I just use that and I put that there because there are 6 steps to the scientific method. I'm going to cut the front into 6. Okay, so I'm going to cut this into half and then each part into thirds. So hang on, I'm going to do that. Okay, so I cut them into 6, so now the front looks like they have flaps, and they can actually open up each flap to reveal what they did. So there's 6 steps of the scientific method. The first step is to ask a question. Now you can actually have them write their the titles for them, or you can have them cut it out from something that you printed out, or the chart that I am providing, or that I provided, or type it out on a Word document and then just print it out. You can do that. So the first one is ask a question. The second one is to research your topic, right? And so I'm forming this as I go. You see, ask a question, research your topic, and then the third one is to state your hypothesis. Third step. I think by now you're understanding the idea. Then I'm going to stick on step 4, step 5, and step 6 on the bottom. Okay, so what the end project will be, so your students or children can open up the flap. So here's the idea is that they can either write out information here, or they can use another piece of paper, write it out, and then stick it onto here so that it adds more color. I will go ahead and finish this out, and then I'll be right back. Okay, here we go. So now I have all of them. See that? So now that you have the scientific method steps down, you can now do your experiments with your child or student, and they can ask their question. And for example, ask a question, and you don't just say, about the topic. It's not just any other question. We're going to talk about a topic. So the topic could be something that you picked. For example, if you were to say, oh, okay, let's learn about magnets. What do you guys know about magnets? Start with something that they already know, and then say, how about what else do you guys want to know about magnets that you don't already know now? And so that will be like, does it work underwater? Okay, so then that's your question. Do magnets work underwater? You write it in here, or you write it on a separate piece of paper and then have them cut it out and stick it on here. That's fine too. And then you research your topic. Okay, what do we know about magnets? Okay, so you can start out with the information that, again, you just discussed, because you asked them what they know about it. You can have them go and research more. Does it work underwater? And then they will state their hypothesis. What do they think is going to happen in your experiment? I think that it's not going to work. I think that it's only going to work if it is, you know, within 1 foot of water, or it's not going to work if it's above 6 feet of water. Whatever it is that you're going to do, now you're going to test your hypotheses. This is where you are actually going to do your experiment. Analyze your data, and when you put, again, you can put all your information here. And so one thing about having different pieces of paper is you can stick them on and you can stack them on top of each other. Okay, and you can actually flip through it. You can measure it just like a regular piece of paper. Write out step 1, step 2, step 3. If you as you're testing your hypotheses, you can and then as you analyze your data, you can show different graphs in here. Okay, and then you can report your results. My conclusion. What is your conclusion? My answer to my question is this: my hypothesis is wrong. My hypothesis is correct. Okay. This is an example. This is probably something that a third grader and above can do. What I want to show you next is what I would do if it was a preschooler. Or, sorry, not just a preschooler. I will do a maybe first grader, second grader. So what I did was I cut out different cards. Okay. And you can actually make this 2 different things. One would be if you were to help them remember what the scientific method is. And so, bad habit. I know we're not supposed to touch our mouth, but you know what? I'm home and I washed my hands. So anyway, here you go. Make an observation. Step 1. I would put this on top of let's say I would put it on top of a different cardboard, and then I will put scientific method card number 1, okay, on top of it, and then I will make it flip up, and it says make an observation, and then I would make it flip up, and I will say, and then I will have all of my observations on there. Okay, so some of the things that you can use that's different, but you can also use this again. And then another trick is you can actually fold it into the middle of the page. So from here, you put it into the middle. You fold it, the edge to the spine. Then you, just like this. Okay. And then you do the other side as well. The edge to the spine. And on the other edge, you're going to not worry about the flap, because the flap will fit just fine on the other side. So here's the edge right here, and the bottom edges I've folded to the middle, and the flap fits just like that in the groove. Okay, so then I will put the little cards here, and I will actually use some Post-its, and then you can have them write it out on Post-its, and you can post them each under. So hold on, let me show you how that looks like. Okay, so this is how it's gonna look like. I took another folder, and again, this is gonna work a lot better. If it would be nicer, not gonna work a lot better, it's gonna work just fine. but it'll be more appealing to the eyes and it will help them better if it's colored. So just go ahead and get, what I have at home is just plain, but go ahead and get different colored paper, different colored folders, okay? And so, for example, this is one way you are helping them remember what the steps are. I would have them write out scientific method here on this side, maybe write down a definition of it, what it is, you know, something creative, draw a picture, and then here are the flaps that I'm talking about. This is how you create flaps. And what I did was I took 2 of those cards that I printed out. Again, you don't have to print out the cards. You can actually write it out on the directly onto the card. Just depends on how the capabilities of your kids and how creative they are, or how much attention that they have. Okay, this is going to be a project. This is not meant to be done within 15 minutes. This is something that you can actually fill your whole day with, you know, talking about the scientific method, all of the cutting, all of the assembling. This is definitely at least one day, maybe a 2-day, 2-day project at minimum. Okay, so scientific number 1, have to remember what's step number 1. And then you open it up. Oh, that's make. Okay, and then right here, this will be some of the data that they want to include. So for example, what I was saying about different post-its is, as you're reading through different, because then again, this can be used not just for the scientific method, it can be used for topics. Okay, let's say we're or literature, and for example, you're talking about a character of in a literature of a story, and hold on. So you're talking about a character of the story, and what we want to do is we want to capture the different characteristics of the character. So for example, I will write on here, all of my yellow post-its, I'm going to be talking about John. Okay, that's in the book. John, page 15, he helped his brother do this. Okay, and then the next thing, oh, and John on page 19 did this. Okay, so now you have a whole bunch of different post-its about John. So then when you create your lap book, you will actually stick on and take all of your post-its and stick on the post-its underneath the correct category. If it was John, what did John do with his brother? What did John do with his mom? What did John do with at school? Okay, so those are 3 different categories that we got out of what the text said. Okay, so that's just an example of how you can use this approach of categorizing, creating a lap book, and it's used for like other subjects, not just scientific method. Anyway, that was just a little rabbit trail of how you can use it. So I hope these 2 things are helpful for you. Feel free to ask me more questions. Go ahead and hit like and subscribe. My husband said to say that. Have a good day.